Okay. So, sorry about that. Not sure why the Twitch app likes doing that to me, but it does. It likes crashing. Can't tell you why, but it does. So thank you for bearing with me as I get that fixed. What we were doing right before it crashed, we were taking out the commander, and I was telling you about some of the gear that he grants. Now, the sword that he has is called the Swedish Fingers, if I remember correctly, and it's an ultra rare sword. So giving it to someone, giving it to one of the warrior companions that you have, or even using it yourself if you are a hand and shield warrior, is something worthwhile, without a doubt. I mean, it just makes sense to do this quest anyway, which is to clean up the area and make it easier for yourself to travel, but even then, yep, the Swedish fingers, as you can see, 69 damage, plus 3% attack, plus 3% critical damage bonus, plus 3 strength, and plus 2 to thunder on hit. And then it comes with a longsword grip, which is actually really good. I think most of that extra stuff is from the longsword grip. And then you got a simple pendant, which that's only good for selling, really. That's it. Other than that, the sword is fairly good. So speaking of that sword, we are going to go ahead and give it to Cassandra right now. And then we are also going to give her this guard belt, because the guard belt gives you a plus 10 to max guard, which in the end means you could go ahead and have more guard than you have health, which just makes it that much harder to kill you as a warrior. But yeah, so part 2. I'm not sure how long that was doing before. I don't know why it crashed. I mean, there's a small part of me that kind of hopes, oh, maybe they were trying to give me transcoding and it failed. But yeah, I don't think that's it. I mean, as awesome as that would be, I don't think that's it. I don't think that's the reason at all. But to those of you that stuck around, thank you so much for bearing with the wonderful technology that I'm working with. Eventually I'll get a capture card and then run it that way. From what I've seen, that tends to run more smoothly. Smoother. Whatever. Either way, using the capture card tends to run with fewer errors. So ultimately, in the future, that is something I'd like to do, but just not available right now. Oh well. Oh yes, Templar encampment. I already took that out. Elfruit never can have too much Elfruit. Especially when you... Okay, now those are... Now, as you can see, they're no longer fighting, but there are still bands of mages roaming around. And like this area right here is normally a Templar stronghold. But by eliminating that camp to the west there by the bridge, it makes it so that Templars aren't here anymore, because their camp has been taken out. Which means I can walk in, I can take this mosaic piece, I can capture Fort Connor for myself, and get the little codex about Fort Connor and how it talks about how Arl Eamon originally built the fortress immediately after the Orlesians were driven out. Wonder why I never got to, why you never see it in Origins, since you actually do spend a good amount of time in Redcliffe. Now this, you can destroy this, but you need to activate a Varric specific quest first. And you can do that by talking to him at any time. So take all of those. And I think I've gotten everything in here except for that one red lyrium piece that I can destroy later. Oh, another thing to read. And more about the Templar encampment. So now that I've taken out the Templars, we're going to go ahead and try to get to the third and final watchtower location. First, I need to heal. And now I'm going to hide. Now see, it just went and hit 3 enemies. Starting with that mage, which just, as you can see, can be very, very useful very, very quickly. As long as I keep them in line. So see, that didn't go too horribly. Oh, fruit, yay! Oh crap. There's more of these guys. Oh, need to get off. Whew! Frost runes are annoying. Fortunately, I'm getting lots of flanking damage on this guy. So that bluish blur you just saw run across the battlefield, that was Solus using Fade Step. Very useful ability. It's a must-have for mages. Okay, let's keep moving before those guys try to kill us. Ah, crap, we keep running into them. We need to stop meeting like this. Fortunately, you can run away. Yep, so here's another shard. Which I forget how many you need to collect to activate the war table asset. Because there's a location out in the western approach area.
Varric, you joined the Inquisition when Seeker Pendergast questioned you.
He was very insistent that I help.
Interesting.
What's interesting?
It's surprising that an elven apostate is the one who joined the Inquisition voluntarily.
Okay, Solus. You can ponder the implications of that. And shard number 3.
Perhaps the Inquisition could determine the nature of these objects.
Okay. So that should be all I need to, what do you call it, set up. The table requisition. Well, it's not necessarily requisition per se, it's a war table asset and location unlock. Codex about Divine Justinia. Codex about Guardsmen. see, everything's working? Okay, yeah, everything's still working. Alrighty, so here we are back at Haven. Might as well talk to some people, because we can.
Ugh.
I hope that wasn't meant to be me.
What? That?
You obviously don't like somebody.
Did I do the right thing? What I have set in motion here could destroy everything I have revered my whole life. One day they may write about me as a traitor, a madwoman, a fool, and they may be right.
What's going to happen now?
Now, we deal with the Chantry's panic over you before they do even more harm. Then we close the breach. We are the only ones who can.
Go team!
After that, we find out who is responsible for this chaos, and we end them. And if there are consequences to be paid for what I have done, I pay them. I
And we're
only
looking at the
pray
dummy.
the price is not too high.
You didn't have any choice.
Didn't I?
I don't like this voice. What you gonna do? I don't like the other
My
voice for
train
this
is
type of
always
character
set.
either.
Cassandra, you are
I just think it needs to be deeper and gravelier, you know?
I see what must be done, and I do it.
Neither
I
of
see
the
no point in
the hero
running around in
voices
circles
are
like a
right.
dog chasing its tail.
At least in my head.
But
My
I
head, they
misjudged
aren't right.
you in the beginning, did I not? I thought the answer was before me, clear as day. I cannot afford to be so careless again.
There is a lot at stake.
You do not have to tell me that.
And yet I will.
You've said you don't believe you're chosen. Does that mean you also don't believe in the Maker?
You're asking me.
You're not a follower of the Qun. You could be. I suppose it doesn't matter now. I have to believe we were put on this path for a reason, even if you do not. Now it simply remains to see where it leads us.
So let's take a look at what horses, what mounts do we have. We've got the Ferelden Forder. And we'll go with that one. That one is the Qunari specific one if you get the Qunari download pack. And as you can see, I really haven't gotten anything into my stables.
Master Dennett's horses in the hinterlands are faster and stronger than anything we've got here. A good horse can make all the difference. The mare I grew up with saved my life. She died. Feels silly to mourn a horse.
Let's see, can I make a better bow? Surprisingly, I can. I like this. We'll make a better bow. Using some of the onyx. Now, do I want damage bonus? No, I want ram's leather. Flanking damage bonus. That's what I want. I really should take care of this. Should upgrade Bianca. Because it'll be a while before I get another member to the team. Oh, that's armor. Here we go, weapons. Yes, I know about modification. I've done this before. Here we go, Bianca. if you bring Varric with you, always keep the gripped sights and limbs of Bianca upgraded. Always, always, always. Because unlike, I mean, yeah, the damage does level up a little bit as he levels, but ultimately, you're not doing it justice if you don't upgrade the arms, grip, etc. And now I will equip my new bow, my flanking bow, and I'll move that and that to valuables. Let's see about armor. I don't think I have enough to make a new armor set. Yeah, so light armor, medium armor. Medium armor is stuff that I really don't want to use. And this one. Let me see. How strong is the armor that I have currently? Oh, that's weapons armor. 91, 92, not gonna change. Even if I make a new one. Now, Cullen will appear over here at some point, but that won't happen just yet. But there is some loot over here, so it's always worthwhile to come on over. I don't want that, so I'll leave it. I'll take the gold. Don't need the anti-even bleeder. That's another thing I'm not entirely happy about. Especially as a Qunari. As a Qunari, I shouldn't be dealing with double daggers if I decide to be a two-handed. If I decide to dual wield. I should be able to use like 2 great axes, because I can, because I'm a Qunari. But no. Double daggers. I also don't like that they cut the attack speed of the dual wielding rogue. Because there was a time when you could not only wield whatever weapons you wanted, if you had a high enough dual wielding, but you could also go in Dragon Age 2, while you were restricted to daggers, your attack speed was faster than any other class, with good reason. But they changed that for this one as well. And as I said, I'm not 100% happy about it. I have done a dual-wielding elf playthrough. Dalish elf, yeah. It was actually a lot of fun. That being said, the attacking mechanics I'm not a huge fan of. Like, at all, really. Much rather if it was a little bit closer to the dual-wielding mechanics of Dragon Age 2. With some of the abilities from Dragon Age Origins. Hey, pro player. Thanks for stopping by. How's it going today? I feel like a Qunari should be able to run faster than this. Maybe that's just me. I mean, just look at those legs. They're very, very long legs. So I feel like I should be able to run faster than I am. Yeah, it's been 19 minutes since Twitch crashed, but it was longer than that before. Let me see. If I open up my past broadcast, it was clearly longer than that. Let me see. Yeah, past broadcasts. Yeah, it was about 2 hours before it crashed for the first time. which was unfortunate. But it's since I run through the Twitch app on my Xbox One, it has a habit of crashing on me, which, as I said, in the future I will correct by getting a capture card and then hooking everything up and then running it through either OBS or XSplit. Haven't really decided which yet. Yeah, sell all valuables. Did I sell? Yeah, I sold all valuables. Excellent.
Harry doesn't know. Need something?
Tell me about Red Lyrium, Varric.
We found at the temple seemed to upset you.
Really freaked the shit out of you.
I sort of discovered Red Lyrium during an expedition in the deep roads. We located an ancient thaig, so old it barely looked dwarven. There was this idol there made of it. Bartrand brought it back to the surface, and, well, everything's gone downhill from there.
So what is it? Just another kind of lyrium?
The red stuff is lyrium. Dragon is... It's not just a different color. It has a host of weirdness. I've written to every mining cast house in Orzammar. No one's seen this stuff before or knows where it came from.
What makes it
Awesome.
special?
That just makes you feel great, doesn't it? Nobody's seen it before, and no one knows where it came from.
Suggested for that to
Some
happen.
bitch.
Red lyrium messes with your mind when you're just...
Oh yeah,
stuff.
Bartrand went nuts.
Singing, get
So I
violent,
killed him.
paranoid, and then it does
And then I destroyed the shard that was left in the house when we went back and figured out what was why there was haunting.
Everyone's been kept at least 100 paces from it since.
How did the red lyrium get in the Temple of Sacred Ashes?
Which,
I don't know.
once I get a capture card,
As far as I knew,
when I do that playthrough,
to the surface,
a playthrough with the capture card,
and the location of the thaig came from.
I'm gonna go ahead and that'll be something I do is play the tapestry that I've built
That's not a cheery thought.
for the world state before I start and jump into this.
I think that's enough on red lyrium.
Because yeah, I've built a couple commands to try, but I mean, if you go on for too long, it just, it just becomes too wordy. You try describing everything that you did, and I think the tapestry does an excellent job of covering all the main points without veering on the side of being verbose. Here we go, let's talk to Solus.
The chosen of Andraste, a blessed hero sent to save us all.
I've no interest in being a hero. All I want is to find a way to seal this breach.
Pragmatic, but ultimately irrelevant. I've journeyed deep into the Fade in ancient ruins and battlefields to see the dreams of lost civilizations. I've watched as hosts of spirits clash to reenact the bloody past in ancient wars, both famous and forgotten. Every great war has its heroes. I'm just curious what kind you'll be.
What do you mean, ruins and battlefield?
Any building strong enough to withstand the rigors of time has a history. Every battlefield is steeped in death. Both attract spirits. They press against the veil, weakening the barrier between our worlds. When I dream in such places, I go deep into the Fade. I can find memories no other living being has ever seen.
You fall asleep in the middle of ancient ruins. Isn't that dangerous?
I do set wards. And if you leave food out for the giant spiders, they are usually content to live and let live.
If you go that deep into the Fade, you might find something better left alone.
I take precautions to avoid possession. I have no wish to become a demon's tool. In the same light, be cautious here. Cassandra's protection only lasts so long as she survives. It will be interesting to watch this fledgling Inquisition make its way. I will stay to see it. For now.
Was that in doubt?
I am an apostate surrounded by Chantry forces in the middle of a mage rebellion. Cassandra has been accommodating, but you understand my caution.
The giant hole in the sky trumps any other concerns. We can worry about the rest later.
Yes. Who can say what this world will look like when we are done fighting for it? But now let us hope either the mages or the Templars have the power to seal the breach.
Yeah, so quick rundown on my hawk. Bartran is dead. Delirium piece is broken, turned into an awesome rune that ultimately graced his weapon. What else? Romanced Isabella Hawk did, which means he ended up fighting the Arashok in single combat and defeated him.
Sacred Ask told me that he can't let the herbs go for anything less than 8.
Fine. We'll gather our own. Tell Segrid. Look who's back from the dead. Again. I shouldn't be surprised. You Oxmen are tough as old leather.
I don't recall meeting you before.
I'd be surprised if you did. You weren't particularly coherent. Someone had to patch you up after you staggered out of making those wear, though. So, you're welcome.
Until the breach is closed, no one's safe.
True. I'll keep the bandages handy. Name's Adan. I'm in charge of keeping our little band here stocked with potions and elixirs. Not that Seeker Pentagast seems to care whether we've got the supplies to actually do that.
Is there anything I can do to help out?
We're fine as far as raw labor goes. You've more important things to do than tend to me. I only wish I'd been able to find Master Tajin's notes. Old bastard was working on something special. He died at the Conclave, and his notes...
By something special, it's really not all that special at all.
You said you thought Master Tajin was working on something special. If it helps, I found his notes.
The old codger was on the edge of a breakthrough here, but he couldn't see it. You want some of these mixed up? You just give the word.
Yep, so lyrium potion
Farewell.
recipe. Not all that special at all. Now let's see if we can upgrade some of these. Yes, I know about potion upgrading. I've played the game before. Okay, need a Dawn Lotus in order to upgrade that. Gonna go ahead and increase that. Life Ward. Oh, that would be nice if I can get that going. And yeah, I'll increase the duration as well. I never use lyrium potions.
Closing the breach is our primary goal. But I hope we might also discover what was used to create it. Any artifact of such power is dangerous. The destruction of the Conclave proves that much.
You don't think whatever created the explosion was destroyed in the blast?
You survived, did you not? The artifact that created the breach is unlike anything seen in this age. I will not believe it destroyed until I see the shattered fragments with my own eyes.
Anything with that kind of power is bound to show up sooner or later.
Liliana's people have scoured the area near the blast and found nothing. Whatever the artifact was, it is no longer there. In any case, did you need me for anything?
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Alright, yeah, I'll do that later. Oh look, a riot.
Your kind killed the most holy. Lies. Your kind let her die. Shut your mouth, mate!
Enough!
Knight Captain.
That is not my title. We are not Templars any longer. We are all part of the Inquisition.
And what does that mean exactly?
Back already, Chancellor. Haven't you done enough?
I'm curious, Commander.
Kind of glad that they
how
kept
your
Cullen through all 3
Inquisition and
games.
its herald
Just
will restore
another tying
order as
thread
they
to bring all 3 of them together.
Of course you are.
And the development
Back
that
to
he
your
has
duties, all of
accordingly.
you.
He's seen the worst on both sides. I mean, I really like that he's a part of the game.
Do you think the mages will be able to seal the breach?
I heard some speak of using the Templars instead. I didn't realize any of Leliana's Oxman mercenaries were still here. Well, if you want new gear, you pay for it. Oh, you're him. Thren, Inquisition Quartermaster. I'm doing what I can to supply this mess. If you find what I need to fill one of my requisitions, I'd appreciate you bringing it in.
What did you mean when you mentioned...
I'm making this Inquisition run with what we have, but we're not a real army. We're
Nope.
stretched thin on materials, so I've put up a requisition list for anything that could help up. Here, take a look. You find some iron and a good logging site.
Farewell.
Make her go with you.
So, another one that I've quickly taken care of.
Nice work. Nice work with those supplies. The Smiths can use them to fit our troops with better gear. Might not affect you much, but our recruits will have better chances next time some monster flies out of a rift.
And she doesn't have any new ones, so.
Farewell.
Make her go with me.
And let's take a minute to talk to Leliana.
Blessed are the peacekeepers, the champions of the just. Blessed are the righteous.
Someone who is
Lights
deeply
and
religious.
In their blood, the Maker's will is written. Is that what you want from us? Blood. To die so that your will is done? Is death your only blessing?
You speak for Andraste, no? What does the Maker's prophet have to say about all of this? What's his game?
How is this a game?
Do you see the sky? What about the temple ruins? The bones lying in the dust? Even if you didn't support the Divine's peace, you wouldn't call this right. Who could? So many innocent lives. The faithful murdered where the holiest of holies once stood. If the Maker willed this, what is it if not a game or a cruel joke?
Awful things happen every day. Get used to it.
Get used to being a pawn? To be discarded when the Maker's done with you? The Chantry teaches that the Maker abandoned us. He demands repentance for our sins. He demands it all. Our lives, our deaths. Justinia gave him everything she had, and he let her die.
People are killed all the time.
If the Maker doesn't intervene to save the best of his servants, what good is he? I used to believe I was chosen, just as some say you are. I thought I was fulfilling his purpose for me, working with the Divine, helping people. But now she's dead. It was all for nothing. Serving the Maker meant nothing.
I'm not really the best person to talk to. Doesn't the Chantry have people for this?
So I should let a priest comfort me? No, this is my burden. I regret that I even let you see me like this. It was a moment of weakness. It won't happen again. Come, to work then. We will speak later.
Yeah, so. That's an interesting way for the conversation to go. Don't normally have the conversation go that way.
Mages and Templars were already at war. Now they're blaming each other for the Divine's death.
Which is why we require a proper authority to guide them back to order.
Who? You? Random clerics who weren't important enough to be at the Conclave?
The Rebel Inquisition and its so-called Herald of Andraste? I think not.
If the proper authority hadn't completely failed, the Conclave wouldn't have been needed.
So you suggest I blame the Chantry and exalt a murderer? What of justice?
That won't help restore order in the here and now.
Order will never be restored so long as this rebellion is allowed to fester.
Remind me, why are you allowing the Chancellor to stay?
Clearly, your Templar knows where to draw the line.
He's toothless. There's no point turning him into a martyr simply because he runs at the mouth. The Chancellor's a good indicator of what to expect in Val Royeaux, however.
Well, let's hope we find solutions and not a cathedral full of chancellors.
Stuff of nightmares.
Mock, if you will. I'm certain the Maker is less amused.
Oh, hey Toby. Didn't realize you had left. I just know that my own the Twitch app had crashed on me. So yes, continuing. With my giant oxman. I preferred Bull's explanation as to why Qunari have horns. Far more interesting to think of it like that.